Governor Greg Abbott has vetoed SB 3 here in the state of Texas. This was a big issue here, and it was getting a lot of coverage. A lot of people didn't know what the governor was going to do, and he was getting a lot of pressure to veto this bill or to sign it. Let's check out some news reports, what business owners are saying, and we'll take a look at the economic impacts as well. Let's check it out.
Good morning, I'm Brandon Hamilton. At the last minute, Governor Abbott vetoed a THC ban in Texas, infuriating Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick, who spearheaded the bill. ABC 13's Brianna Willis shared what this means going forward for those in the industry.
After the late-night veto of SB 3, Governor Abbott called for a special legislative session to find common ground for the bill. We spoke with a local smoke shop employee who says throughout the process they've remained optimistic they'll be able to sell their THC products.
Pretty happy.
Very happy after a veto. That's how Ricardo Hernandez says he feels after Governor Greg Abbott vetoed SB 3, which would have banned all THC products across the state. The law would have made it a misdemeanor to own, manufacture, or sell consumable THC, something that would have impacted Euphoria Smoke and Vape, which is why they have these signs posted to stop SB 3.
It's not really as dangerous as people make it out to seem. You know, you have a lot of elderly coming in here for like arthritis joints. You have a lot of, lotions for CBD and stuff. So having a ban on stuff like that would have made it a little bit scarier, but we were very optimistic.
But those who supported the measure, like Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick told ABC 13, the drug is dangerous and shops have taken advantage of it.
So 4 times the number of McDonald's and Starbucks, you have these stores selling a dangerous product, which will take the life of your loved one away, potentially, because this is not minor stuff that they get a little high. This is stuff that's 3-4 times as powerful as anything they'd buy from a drug dealer.
While Governor Abbott says he hopes they can create enforceable regulation, Hernandez is still hopeful business as usual will continue.
As long as everything stays, legal as like the way it is, I feel like we shouldn't have.
Dan Patrick, in the eyes of many, was on the wrong side of this issue. And a lot of people were hoping that Governor Abbott vetoed this bill. And he did. A lot of people were very upset with Dan Patrick. He was pushing this. And look, I think there are bigger issues here in the state of Texas to focus on. Property taxes, lowering property taxes, public safety, bail reform. I think there are bigger issues to worry about. I think he should have put a bigger focus on bail reform, Dan Patrick that is, than trying to ban THC here in the state.
Have any problem going forward or, selling anything else.
And that special legislative session is set to start July 21st. In Montrose, Brianna Willis, ABC 13. All
right, so let's go to another news report. I like to hear what the local business owners are saying about this.
Basically guess the response from those who market and sell THC-based products. It is praise, applauding the governor's veto, and now pushing for lawmakers to actually step away from any thoughts on SB 3. Our Steve Pickett continues our coverage in Dallas.
But these are very low dose. These are THC mints. They're great for migraines.
Eddie Velez restocked his shelves inside Oak Cliff Cultivators today, replacing the in-demand edibles, mints, and other items set for state-imposed elimination. Velez leads the Texas Hemp Coalition, the group of CBD shop owners at the heart of the political fight against the legislature's approved ban of all THC-laced products.
There's no reason to ban this because it's not harmful. It does not kill people.
Today, he thanked the governor's veto block of that ban and explained why.
I think the governor heard loud and clear from the citizens of Texas. The citizens of Texas do not want a ban. We want these products. We want adults to have responsible access to these products.
Velez and thousands of others sent letters to the governor saying more regulation of THC products was needed, but a complete ban would essentially shut down more than 8,000 businesses.
All of these products are tested before they ever come to our shop.
That's the thing. People just want sensible regulation. They don't want a complete ban on these products because, for one, you would get rid of a lot of jobs, a lot of revenue for the state. And I'll get into the numbers after these videos, but I think just sensible regulation is what we need. We'll get into what Governor Abbott has proposed in a second.
Do you want to do anything else today, or is this going to do it?
In Northeast Dallas, House of Healing CBD shop. The operators there also facing potential shutdown until the governor's veto. Manager Patrick Neely accusing conservative lawmakers of having one goal regarding THC.
Control, 100%. And so if there are lawmakers that just don't want this, they are trying to control Texans. And that's why I think today was a huge victory.
In Dallas, Steve Pickett.
Look, I will say I've never seen so many people rally behind a bill or the veto of a bill or anything for that matter here in Texas. I mean, this was getting a lot of attention, and there was a statewide, what seemed like a statewide push for Governor Abbott to veto this bill. And he stayed pretty quiet on the issue, up until he vetoed it. He didn't really say much about it, and I had a feeling that he would veto because for one, I saw a stack of letters being rolled into Governor Abbott's office on X. I mean, like boxes and boxes of letters from people urging him to veto this bill. And you had arguments on both sides. You had the Tarrant County Sheriff, saying that, this is harmful or it causes mental health issues, citing that before 2019, when THC was allowed to be sold in the state, the way it is now, that mental health, people going to Tarrant County jails with mental health issues rose from 25% to 70%. Now, is that causation or is it correlation? I don't know. But I think drunk driving is a lot. Look, I see a lot of people here in Texas, see a lot of stories of drunk drivers killing people here in the state. And I think that is far more dangerous. That's just my opinion based on numbers. And there we have a lot of veterans, people with health issues coming into these stores, buying these products to help them with their issues, relieving their issues, relieving symptoms or anything. So let's get into some of the economics of this. This is from Cannabis Business Times. New report reveals Texas hemp market contributes $10 billion to state economy. A newly released economic report, hemp-derived cannabinoids in the Lone Star State, a revised economic impact analysis of cannabinoid retail in the state, reveals the hemp industry is a major contributor to the Texas economy, generating $5.5 billion annual sales with an estimated tax revenue of $268 million. Key findings include retail growth. In 2025, retail revenue reached $4.3 billion, up from $3.3 billion in 2023, highlighting sustained customer demand. Industry expansion. Total employment in the hemp industry grew to 53,000 jobs in 2025, an increase of 3,200 from 50,100 in 2023. Higher pay. Industry wages rose from $2.1 billion in 2025, up from $1.6 billion in 2023. Proposed state regulations, including Texas Bill Senate 3, which seeks to ban all hemp-derived THC products, could cost the industry $7.5 billion and 40,000 jobs. So that was the big issue. That was one of the biggest issues with that, is that it would cost a lot of jobs in the state. It's home to more than 8,500 businesses with 72% reporting profitability this year. The 2025 report further estimates industry total revenue at $5.5 billion and overall economic impact of $10.3 billion. Wow, so, okay. Retail sector revenue $4.3 billion, 41,000 jobs, wages $1.53 billion. We already got into the sales tax revenue for the state. Wholesale sector revenue is $309 million, 4,000 jobs, and wages $190 million. I mean, this is a big industry. And look, I don't know much about THC and all of this. I don't use any products, but I do know somebody who makes it. I do know a farmer who does make this stuff and sells it in stores, in certain businesses, and this would have impacted him. This is one of his many in his portfolio. He grows a lot of things. He grows hemp, wheat, and all kinds of things. This would have impacted him. So my opinion is that I think that we need sensible regulation on this to make sure that it is safe and the wrong people are not getting their hands on it. And I don't think there needs to be an outright ban on it. This is just my opinion. But I saw people from both sides coming together on this. Conservatives, liberals, people in the middle were all urging Governor Abbott that we don't need to ban this in the state. So this is something that a lot of people agreed on. So, you see a lot of that. But this is what I'm going to read this right here. This is from Governor Abbott in his 4-page statement after the veto. You might not be able to see it on the screen in small print, but I'll read it for you. These are some of the things that he is proposing as far as regulations on this. Selling and providing a THC product to a minor must be a punishable crime. Sales must be prohibited near schools, churches, parks, playgrounds, and other areas frequented by children. I think that's fair. Packaging must be child resistant, tamper evident, and resellable. Products must not be made, packaged, or marketed in a manner attractive to children. Any store selling these products must have a permit and restrict access to anyone under age of 21. A lot of stores do that already, with strict penalties for any retailer that fails to comply. Products containing THC may not contain other psychoactive substances, alcohol, tobacco. Examples. Testing must be required at every phase of production and manufacturing, including both plants and derivative consumable products. Manufacturing and processing facilities must be subject to permitting and food safety rules. Going to run through this is not too much here. Permit and registration fees must be sufficient to support robust enforcement and testing by a Texas Alcoholic Beverage Commission in partnership with other state agencies. An operator's permit and warning danger signs must be posted at any store selling these products. The amount of THC sales must be limited to the hours between 10 a.m. and 9 p.m. and prohibited on Sundays. The amount of THC permissible in each product must be restricted, and an individual may take only a limited number of purchases in a given period of time. Labels must include a Surgeon General style warning, a clear disclosure of all ingredients, including the THC content, and a scannable barcode or QR code linking to test results. Okay. Fraudulently creating or displaying manifest or lab results must be punishable as felony offenses. Public consumption of on the premises of any store that sells these products and possession of an open container in a vehicle must be punishable as crimes, just like alcohol. The Attorney General, district attorneys, and county attorneys must have authority to pursue violations under the Deceptive Trade Practices Act. Local governments must have the option to prohibit or limit stores selling these products. Excise taxes must be assessed on these products to fund oversight and enforcement, and additional funding must be provided to ensure law enforcement have sufficient resources to vigorously enforce restrictions. So this is a list of things that he is hoping to see with regulations on THC. And there is a special session here in the state coming up next month, July 21st. So we'll see what happens with that. Look, Dan Patrick was making a big deal about it. And like I said, if you just go based off of the public sentiment on this, with all the pressure, all the people rallying together to get Abbott to veto this, and if you just look at the comments on these videos or on X social media, if you just go based off of what the public wants, it looks like Dan Patrick was on the wrong side of this issue. And A lot of people are saying he's in the, his being, his money is lined with, his pockets are lined with money from the alcohol industry. And so he's trying to push a ban for this. I don't know about all of that. Maybe it's true. I mean, like I said, I think there are bigger issues in the state to worry about than this. Bail reform, property taxes being lowered or eliminated, because property taxes are high here in the state of Texas. Extremely high. People can't afford it. So I think there are just other things to worry about than THC. I think the regulation thing is fine. I'm okay with that. So let me know what you think in the comments. Like, I don't know a lot about these products. I know people who use them. I know somebody who makes hemp and sells these products that have THC in it, lotion, things like that, spray. But let me know what you think. Was this a good thing that Governor Abbott did? Or do you disagree with it? I'd like to have an open discussion about it. But before I finish that, make sure you check out my store, mixtexanstore.com, for your Elephants Love Wine 2 hat and an Ultra Texan t-shirt. Great quality. Shrink, it's already pre-shrunk, so it won't get small inside the dryer. I never dry mine. I let it air dry. But all right, guys, like and subscribe. I'll see you next time. Thank you. Take care.